take the oath.
I, Richard John Mensah,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
touching the matter in issue
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable nominee, if you are settled, then we can start. Are you settled? Thank you. Honorable nominee, under Article 78(1) of Ghana's Constitution, that actually give His Excellency the President to nominate his ministers and deputy ministers that he was to work with. The process is to be approved by Parliament. So you could go and start the work that His Excellency is expecting you to do with your minister. Can you please take a few minutes, just a couple of minutes, to tell the committee who Honorable Richard John Mensah is? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my name is Richard John Mensah. I was born on the 20th of June, 1982, in Accra. I come from Gomoa West. I had my basic education from Meadow Preparatory School in Dakuman and to Cosmos School at La Paz. And I had my BC, the Basic Education Certificate Examination, at Abekam Mutuwe 2JHS. I went to the Palm Secondary School for my secondary education, to the University of Cape Coast for my first degree. I read Bachelor of Education, Psychology, with a major in accounting. I went to the University of Ghana for my master's degree, that was an MSc in Accounting and Finance. Currently, I have finished another master's degree with the University of Ghana, MA Energy Law, awaiting graduation. I'm also a student of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in the third level. Mr. Chairman, I am married with 4 kids. And I always call myself, I said I'm a trained teacher, a practicing accountant, and then a career politician. Mr. Chairman, I am someone who likes community services, and my interests are always on teaching, traveling, and reading. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My career started with Trans Automobile Limited, then to the Union Oil Ghana Limited, Petrosol Ghana Limited, and then to Desert Oil, where I quit and then joined politics finally. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable nominee. I'll call in Honorable Jerry to give some introductory remarks.
Honorable John Mensah, I expect you to be extra comfortable. I know you have the capacity to deal with the issues as they come up. For me, the only caveat is that you are a man of your own, and therefore you are largely independent. You have the deliverables to go the wherewithal to let the Ghanaian people understand that the president has not made the wrong choice. So I expect you to go in to assist. But with the mindset that you can tomorrow be a minister as well. So please, let's just go on that tangent, and I'm sure it will be a very, very good for all of us. You are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Nominee. I think I will add to what Honorable Jerry has said about you, that what you are here to be interviewed on, which is basically your background, your experience, your competence, and your skills to fulfill the duty that is ahead of you. I have no doubt that you have the background. I have no doubt that you have the experience. And I'm absolutely sure that you have the competence and the skills for this role. But we'll still ask you questions. So I'm going to start basically with subject matter nominees here, or nominated by your side. And I will start with the Honorable former Deputy Minister. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. My brother, congratulations. And Chairman, let me disclose that Richard is a very, very good friend of mine. But I have to do my job. So I have some few questions for him. I know he's supported by very strong people behind him. I've seen Mr. Butler, who is an industry player. My brother, a few questions. The Public Utility Workers Union of TUC, over the years, have been against the privatization of ECG. Recently, I saw your minister inaugurate a committee to look at the privatization of ECG. What is your view on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think my minister's discussion or his take on the privatization of ECG is something that has become very necessary. We all can actually witness currently some issues that are going on with respect to ECG. So ECG currently needs capital injection. There are a lot of inefficiencies in the system. And I believe that bringing on board the private sector will play a very key role in resolving some of these challenges, and also to make them financially buoyant, to ensure that we have consistent and stable power supplies. So, Mr. Chairman, I think that even though the TUC has raised concerns, I think the direction that the minister has actually articulated is actually in the interest of Ghana and also of ECG.
You have a follow-up?
No, I think
you have a follow-up. Okay, please go ahead.
Boss. Congratulations. Just a follow-up on this. While looking at privatization, over the years, it's normally about foreign players coming into the industry. Would you want to consider local players or a clearly local team that will take charge? Because that sector is a very important one. If you leave it out to foreign participants, I'm sure we'll not be able to pay for the tariffs that they will hit for us. Would you consider, institutional and local investors who would want to participate in this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, in the first place, I would like to draw attention that the privatization that it's been discussed, that is not to say that the whole ECG is going to be privatized. It is a section of their activities, mainly when you look at the distribution and then, or normally what is the billing, and then the collections is what the government is looking at privatizing, and that is to bring in private companies. This in companies, I think, Mr. Chairman, I would say that I have not had extensive discussion with my minister, but I believe that Ghana we have the Local Content Act. So whatever it is, it will not be left in the hands of foreign players. There would be private players if they didn't be.
Can I continue?
Yes, please.
All right. So, my brother, the NPA rolled out a program they call the Cylinder Recirculation Model. It has encountered some fierce resistance in terms of its mode of implementation from the LPG marketing companies. I have a press release from the LPG marketing companies where they retrace the agreement with NPA and think that this model can exist with the refilling model. Are you aware of this particular CRM policy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The CRM, I am very much abreast with the CRM. But I must say, Mr. Chairman, currently, my minister have not given me any his indication on the CRM. But I would say, I'm saying this on my own to say that I think that the CRM, because I have been an industry player, what it is like I say is that there's a need for us to engage the players. It is not enough to say that we suspend the program entirely. But it is important, if I get opportunity, I would advise my minister to engage the local players, that is the players carrying the system, and also to get to know their real issues and the concerns that they have raised, vis-a-vis what the regulator is also proposing. Currently, I know they are running it concurrently. The CRM is in place, and then the local players also have here, that is the bottling, the usual bottling one also. So they are running it parallelly. But I think that it is important for us to not just brush it away, but sit down with them and then engage. I was in a meeting just about a week ago when I heard the leader of the LPG distributors who made a strong case on this issue. So I would actually speak with my minister for us to consider having engagement with them. And I believe that the reports that will come out will determine whether it should be pursued or to be suspended. Thank you.
Chairman, I think I have the last one. For the past 3 weeks to 1 month, we've been experiencing some intermittent power situations, especially from those of us from the Ashanti region. And in my constituency specifically, the light goes off at 6 p.m. The light goes off at 6 p.m., comes up around 1 a.m. And it's happening especially in Ashanti region. There's been news reported on that. And the reality on the ground is that not only Ashanti region, but other regions are experiencing the same. I just want to find out from you, is Dumso back?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to assure my brother that Dumso is not back. We all experienced the period of Dumso, and we know what we went through in terms of even the time when the light goes off. There were shadows and all those things. What we see now, I cannot deny the fact that there has been some packet of some light, the light going off in some areas, but that has not been something that you can describe as Dumso. However, I want to also alert you that I believe that you are just the immediate past Deputy Minister for Energy, and then you know that currently the West African gas pipeline is under maintenance, and most of our thermal plants use the gas from Nigeria. Those coming from Takoradi, because the pipeline is being worked on, we cannot bring the product from even Takoradi. And then also, government have made provision for liquid fuel to supplement it. However, there are some plants which are exclusively LPG, which I think that once there's a maintenance work, they may not get the needed gas to power the plants. And then also, I want to add that I listened to my minister on TV, and the West African Pipelines gave the assurance that by the 6th of March, they will be done with their maintenance work. And I believe that once it is done, we will get enough gas to power the thermal plants. And this sense, you will not see it again. At least with my minister in place and myself, we work and make sure that this narrative of Bunso will never come up again.
Please. I don't want to argue with my brother. Oh, I follow up. Take your time. I don't want to argue with my brother, but I like his honesty. That he says we are experiencing some challenges. I wish you well, my brother. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Honorable nominee, I know that you are eloquent, you are competent to answer the questions put before you. But please, stay within what you are here for, and that is being vetted for a deputy minister designated. You are not here to talk about policy issues, because you will support the policies of your substantive minister, so that we can smoothen this process. Just word of advice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I will invite Honorable Shaibu to do a follow-up on the former deputy minister's questions. Honorable Shaibu, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable nominee, is it the case that the question that the Honorable Minister, the former Deputy Minister asked, is it the case that in the last 2-3 months we have experienced such sorts of interruptions and power on and offs?
Mr. Chair.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair, respectfully. I think the re-examination.
I haven't given you the floor. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, my very nice chairman. Mr. Chair, I think that my brother, who is a learned colleague, should stop the re-examination. The man there is very capable. The question has been asked, he's going to answer, he's answered them. Please, let's proceed. If we continue like this, we'll keep re-examining people and we won't leave this place. It's just not necessary.
You may answer the question. Honorable nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to assure my brother that this is something that we even experienced during December. This is not new to us.
Okay. Honorable members, let's have one bet, please. I'm now going to go to my right and call an honorable. I'm dealing with subject matter now, so then I'll come back to you. Honorable, you have the floor.
All right. Congratulations, my brother. I have no doubt that you perform to solidify our confidence in you. Well, talking about ECCG, which happens to be the main topic of discussions. ECCG being the distributor at the last stage of the value chain is confronted with a lot of problems. One has to do with the debt owed by government institutions. That's so crucial. And then also, we're talking about billing. Standardized billing. ECG has a problem with the amount of power that is produced and the billing that it does. Tell me, do you think that ECG should go the way of technology in such that from production to distribution, smart grids, using of efficient ways of energy analysis, do you think that the way to go is that to go the way of technology, ensuring that technology is embedded from start to finish in order to ensure that revenue gotten at a stage can be used to satisfy all the debt. Do you get my questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I strongly support the view that technology should be employed, at least to minimize the human interferences in our processes. I believe once it is done that way, some of the challenges that confront ECG can be resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. The prices of electricity in Ghana happens to be one of the highest.
Remember, is this a follow-up question? The next question. All right. So this is your second question. Please go ahead.
Prices of electricity in Ghana can be considered to be one of the highest, among the highest in Africa. There are suggestions that the generation mix, there's a need for us to look at renewable energy, i.e. solar energy and others. What is your view on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, as you directed, these are issues that mostly the policy side of it, I have yet to be informed from my minister. But I can say that currently Ghana, we have a mixed power generation. So we have a bit of the thermal, we have a bit of the renewables. However, we know that the thermal is quite expensive. So everyone is advocating for the renewable energies, which, if you look at the name of my ministry, Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, and the line of green transition, it relies more on the renewable energy. And I think that we should pursue renewable energy in nuclear and even gas itself, mini dams, and then solar, which is currently something that the ministry is working on. Thank you.
Follow up on that. Honorable nominee, in areas such as the areas of Afajato, we're still talking about energy, cost of energy. Mr. Chairman, it is difficult when electricity is produced in Akosombo and transported all the way to a place like Axim, which makes it so expensive. So in areas where, like Afajato, where there are views that we should look at upgrades, where we don't have to rely so much on the main source of production, would you consider advising the minister that such policy should be pursued?
Thank you. I will consider that.
Chairman, my last question. Carbon credit. It is a known fact that Africa in general contributes less than 7% to the CO2 production worldwide. But then also, there is this agenda that we, as a nation, as a globe, should move away from fossil fuel. Honorable Minister, Honorable Dominic, how do you advise a developing country like Ghana that has so much oil that wants to bet on it for
hydrocarbons, which we cannot allow to be stranded? We are still also pursuing the renewables as well. So we'll do the blend and make sure that at least at the end of the day, we achieve a net zero carbon. That is in the long term.
Follow-up question. Thank you, Honorable Nominee. This issue about carbon credits, it is a platform where developing countries like...
Honorable, hold on. Did you say a follow-up question of which? Of the last one. Okay. Sure. Okay, go ahead.
Honorable Nominee, still on carbon credits, there is so much funds available when it comes to carbon credits. I've been thinking that instead of just planting trees, what would you say that we consider people like rubber farmers, rubber plantation farmers, and other palm oil plantation, palm tree plantation farmers, where we give support to these people? So just instead of just planting trees, we look at commercial tree planting, which will generate funds for the farmer at the end of the month, as opposed to just trees. Do you think it's a good idea to look at that option too?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think in Ghana we have the Tree Crop Authority, which is focused on planting of trees for commercial purpose or for food. So these are some of the things that we are already doing in Ghana. Even though I know my ministry is actually not into that, there's a ministry responsible for that. But I support the idea that whatever tree planting that we intend doing, we should not just look at it just for the trees or something, but it should also have an immediate economic benefit to the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. I now want to go to Honourable George Abuachi on my left. Abuachi on my left. You have the floor, Honourable.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honourable nominee, congratulations. A very good friend and a classmate. As you are aware, investment to upstream sector is declining. Do you anticipate any changes in the fiscal regime governing the upstream petroleum sector to promote investment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, as a Deputy Minister, I will assist my Minister that whatever we have to do to entice a lot more investors into the upstream, we do that. And I believe that currently there are some agreements that we may have to look at it, and also the whole regime may have to be reviewed. Once we are doing the review, it's automatically that things that has to do with the fiscal regime would also be considered. So I'll work closely with my Minister to ensure that whatever we have to do to make sure that upstream becomes very attractive, we'll pursue that. And my Minister, through the sky, I have listened to him on radio, and even when he came for his vetting, indicated that he will put things in place to attract investors into the upstream.
Yes, Honourable.
Honourable Chairman, this is a follow-up question.
Sure, go ahead.
There are serious production shortfalls in all our oil fields. The Jubilee field has gone past its half-life, and there are decommissioning plans in the offing. What plans do you have or propose to boost the output of existing oil fields?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I earlier indicated, this powers they all has to do with the policy issues, which I will work with my Minister. However, I will say that there are also equally a lot of wells that have not been worked on. Our government is looking at getting on board so many wells so that we can improve upon our upstream production. Currently, I think, as you said, I looked at the numbers and it wasn't encouraging. We went as high as almost about 179,000. Now we are moving around 89,000 barrels a day, which is not encouraging.
Okay. If you still have any... energy efficiency and conservation are key factors in a country's development. What are the strategies to achieve it? With your support to the Minister, energy conservation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With energy conservation and efficiency, I think the most effective strategy that will be employed is education. And then also the implementation of the existing regulations in that area. So I would actually support my Minister for us to enhance the education for effective energy use. And then also, in terms of the regulations that are currently in place, we'll make sure that it's fully implemented. And then encourage people to use new appliances. I think that's also another way of ensuring energy efficiency. Currently, I've heard a new thing that they call response demand, which is when people will be, whilst we educate, people will learn how to use energy or power less even within the peak period. And this can help our energy security.
My last question. Thank you. The generation mix of this country have majority of the power plants being peaking plants. Per your government energy policy, do you have plans to include a base load plant to bring down cost of power?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I listened to my minister, Honorable John Jinapo, at his vetting. He indicated that his administration and the NDC government will consider the introduction of nuclear energy or nuclear power, which is one source of base load. And it is also very, in terms of costs, it's very affordable, and that can translate and help our prices to be lower. So I must say that I would encourage my minister to pursue the area of bringing on board the base load generation, which is nuclear and even mini dams that we can invest in to also help our energy mix.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman.
Just hold on a second. Leader, you're welcome. I'm going to suggest that you take your rightful place. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. A very good friend. I wish you well. We will meet.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're done. Okay, I'm going to revert back to my rights and invite Honorable Umar to take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, for this opportunity. Honorable nominee, congratulations. I wish you well, but I have a question regarding the trends of power, price structure in Ghana, and looking at the cost. Should we expect new tariffs?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would like to find out from the honorable member, new tariff as in high, low, or stable. Thank you.
Any.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the tariff in Ghana, mostly from the little information I've had, indicates that about 60% of it is made up of generational costs. And then other factors are also added to it. I believe that if we are able to manage the cost of generation, it is very likely that the cost of generation, if we're able to manage it and reduce it, and then also when we are able to also work on the distribution and then collection losses in the system, it will help the prices or the tariff to come down. However, if we're not able to do this, it will be a problem for us. But that's where I come in as a deputy minister. I'll work closely with my minister and ensure that whichever effective strategies we have to put in place to make sure that we get a very relatively low generational costs and also work efficiently to reduce the distribution and then collection losses, it will help bring the tariff down. Thank you.
You have a follow-up or next question?
Next question.
Okay, please. Go ahead.
Honorable nominee, this question, I don't need any explanation, no details. I just want no or yes. And I'm going to read. As a deputy minister, you are coming to support. Are you, one, ready to support your minister to initiate the Light Up Ghana project to support the 24-hour economy by resuming the Universal Street Lighting Program? Yes or no?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will support my minister.
Thank you. Are you ready to support your minister to promptly resolve all disputes between upstream oil and gas players and the government of Ghana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will support my minister.
Are you ready to support your minister to apply ESLA for its
Honorable
intended
member.
purposes?
Honorable member, if that's a follow-up question, that will not be allowed. Please ask your substantive, because you've already asked a follow-up question. Please, go to your last question. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you ready to apply ESLA, support your minister to apply ESLA, that is ESLA, for its intended purposes?
Yes, I will support my minister.
I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable member. I would like to stay on my rights. Then before I come to honorable, you take it, okay. All right, so we'll exhaust the side, and then you take those. Okay, so I will exhaust the right-hand side, and then I'll give the leader the opportunity to come in. And hopefully he will wrap up from his end, and I can wrap the whole meeting up. Thank you. When it comes, yeah, because I didn't know you wanted to. Yeah, okay. So please, you have the.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations, Deputy Minister. In the previous government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the then Minister Finance attempted to transition ministry, department, and agencies to use the solar energy to reduce the government's bill that has to be paid. What are you going to do to, push for this to take place? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is something that my minister has indicated that he's going to pursue. That is, government institutions, including even parliament, are going to be given, or they're going to install solar panels in government institutions, which includes parliament. So I will support my minister to pursue this.
On this note, Mr. Chair, congratulations. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me get some understanding here from the leader. Leader, you did say that you will wrap, that exclude Honorable Patrick Boama. All right, okay, fair enough. Honorable Patrick Boama, you have the floor now.
Thank you very much, Chair. And congratulations, Richard. And I'm sure the Methodist Church will be proud of you. You know about Ghana Oil Company Limited. It's an agency under your ministry. They recently constructed a $45 million bitumen plant in Tema to reduce the importation of bitumen into the country, which stands about 11-point-something billion million dollars a year. I don't know your briefing. Were you briefed on this plant and how you are going to increase the production level of bitumen through that facility to assist with the road construction in this country? I don't know if you got the right briefing on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have not had briefing on this.
Smart one. then you need proper briefing on that. Because I've seen some appointments being made to GOIL and the board of GOIL and what have you.
I will protect you if you agree to conclude.
Chairman, am I being harassed?
I wouldn't do that to you. please feel free and go ahead.
I wish the nominee well, Chairman.
Thank you.
Patrick Guama, as reasonable a man as you've always been. Honorable Ladi, you have the floor now. And then after you, we'll come to the leader.
I will not be tempted. You see now.
Honorable, go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Chairman. Congratulations, my brother. There is an issue I have observed, and it's quite worrying. It looks like many a times it eludes every government, not only this. The issue of our institutions. When I talk of our institutions, especially our tertiary and secondary schools, you tend to realize that sometimes they have a lot of electricity bills to pay. And it's very difficult for them. That's giving the masters, the principals, what have you, a big headache. Sometimes even they get cut off and they suffer a lot. I know solar power may look expensive. As a deputy, if fortunately you are given the nod, will you consider suggesting to your minister that at least our tertiary institutions and the secondary schools should be given some solar lighting opportunity so that it would reduce this problem of ours? Because most of our institutions, I believe that they can get enough sunshine to get solar lights working. Will you make that suggestion to your minister?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would suggest and I support my minister in this regard.
If I tell you that excellent, again, I'll get another boost, but I'll say it excellent. Our markets, where most of us women, sometimes we go to the market, we even stay into the night. And we also go very early. Many times the women get there when it's quite dark in the morning and they leave very late. If you realize there is no enough lighting in the markets, no street lights, the places are not properly wired. So sometimes you have market fires, and sometimes even they lose some items because they tend not to see or know when there is darkness. Some of the things that may be pilfered away or whatsoever. Will you suggest to your minister, when you get the nod, that our markets should be taken care of? There should be enough lighting systems, street lights, all over the market, and that the stores in the markets that use electricity should be looked into, and the women should be supported to ensure that wiring to their stores are properly done. Because you may go and see one pole with more than 20 connections, and when there is any least mistake, the place gets engulfed in fire. Will you suggest this to the minister, and will you follow up? Because I will follow you and ask you about it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I will do that. I will actually suggest to my minister and will also make sure I follow up on it.
More than excellent. I'll add a 0 to the 100 to make it 1,000%. And I won't say bye-bye, because if I say it and add to the excellent, it will be another story. Be ready. I will come to your office and follow up on these things to prompt you that you have to ensure that you remind your minister about this. I wish you all the best in all your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Member, Honorable Leader, with your indulgence, I want to continue to stay on the right and ask Honorable Shaibu to come in. Then after that, I'll cede the floor to you. Thank you.
Chairman, I'm exceedingly grateful. Honorable nominee, congratulations one more time. I want us to go back to GOIL. And this time around, whether you have the briefing or not, because you have been a player in the downstream, you will have a fair idea. What is the state of GOIL as we speak today, from your experience on the downstream industry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, even though I've been in the downstream for some time, at least for the last 5 years, I've been in Parliament. I've not actually been following what goes on in GOIL. GOIL is a listed company. This year, their accounts are not out. So if it's out, I'll be able to speak to it because I've not received any briefing. But if the accounts are out, at least based on that, as an accountant, I'll be able to tell the performance of GOIL. Thank you.
Thank you. One other critical one, and I know that it affects most legislators seated here, those of us who represent rural communities. Rural water supply has become a big issue. And even though when you manage to get a borehole to the communities, now electricity is extended to those communities. We try to do connectivity to mechanize those boreholes for the communities. Payment of electricity bill on those mechanized boreholes has been a big issue. I know that street lighting is charged to the entire generality of the population. Is that the case?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Now, mechanized borehole for rural communities is for the entire community. Why would we be billing the community for, a service that is akin to a street light for the entire community? Would you suggest to your minister, or take this up when you get to office, that mechanization of rural communities is not for commercial purpose, it is for the community usage? Would you suggest that this be treated like street lighting, and that you don't bill those to the communities?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think it's a fantastic idea you have actually shared here. I would actually also recommend it to my minister, and then we'll see how best we can take this thing on. Thank you.
On this note, Mr. Speaker, let me wish my good friend the very best. I know you will do well at the ministry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. At this stage, you want to ask the questions? Please, see the questions. Please, I'll call in the leader to take the floor. To take the floor. Leader, you have the floor.
How many master's degrees you have?
Mr. Chairman, I have one, and I have another one. I'm awaiting graduation.
Are you done with school, or you are still on your project work?
Mr. Chairman, I'm done with school.
Have you submitted all academic work for assessment?
Mr. Chairman, I've done so.
The assessment of your project work has not been marked and result published, correct?
Mr. Chairman, it's been marked and it's been published.
can you provide evidence of same to this committee with the leave of chairman?
Honorable nominee, I grant you the leave.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll do so.
One of your referees, you provided reference. You provided 2 referees on your CV. One of them says you are opinionated. What do you say to that?
Mr. Chairman, I don't share in that view because I'm not.
But you provided his name, not us. You provided the name of an individual to be your referee for the purposes of this vetting. And the person says you are opinionated when the records of his knowledge of you was sought. And you are challenging that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, if I have to respond, I would say that, as it is said, opinion is something that that's how people see things. So if that is how we see it, I will also assess myself and try to do the right thing.
Yeah, but he has worked with you, and you, for all the people in the world, you felt that these are people who know you well. Are you suggesting that you have a disagreement with the view expressed that you opinionated?
Mr. Chairman, as I earlier said, that is the view somebody has seen and actually.
Not somebody, your own referee.
So that is the view my referee has shared. I have actually taken notes.
I take it in good faith. Say so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. So continue. I'm aiding you with the phrase. I take it in good faith.
So, Mr. Chairman, I take it in good faith.
You're going to be a deputy minister. Your substantive minister is very assertive. If you carry this opinionated posture to him, you will suffer. I've been in government before. You'll be reading newspapers. That is why I want you to have the opportunity of, making a statement on that. Because this is coming from your own referee. You want to be the deputy minister who will be reading newspapers? Is that what you want?
No, Mr. Chairman.
What do you say to this character reference position that you opinionated? The nation is listening to you. Your minister is listening to you.
Mr. Chairman, as I earlier indicated, I take it in good faith, and I'll try and work towards it.
You are, however, also described as being a go-getter, responsible and diligent. What assurances have you to your minister regarding these positive traits?
Mr. Chairman, I assure my minister that I'm going to employ all these traits.
Now, Asen Gomwa Brofridu, where is that located? Is it the one on the Straight Road, or that's differently located elsewhere?
Mr. Chairman, that is on the Ankamut Mankasim Road.
And that's where Daddy comes from, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you don't come from there, do you?
Mr. Chairman, I come from Gomwa Sempini. That is my mother's hometown.
Now, what is the state of the roads in Gomwa? What did you say? Sempini. Asempini. Answer me in Gomwa. Your response to this question should be in Gomwa.
Hold on. Yes. Hold on a second. Honorable Leader, if you want to go the local language way, may I also remind you that our standing orders suggest that it's translated so that it can be captured in the report. Otherwise, it will not be in the report. So what is
assist
your
in the
option?
No, Chairman. We can assist in the translation. Otherwise, the record can be transcribed. You know, for that to be done, it's not a problem at all. I mean, this is to the nation. Brofuno ya dosu. Inti yeze ifrefrema. Then it's constituent. Once we were there, oba hano, gumuyampa, oti gumwa, onimuan how, and all that. So that shouldn't be a problem at all. We shouldn't have a problem. What I'm saying is that I want him to speak. Hajia, when I got somebody to speak Hausa, you see, Hajia, when I got somebody to speak your language, they spoke Wale, and they spoke Hausa, you were so happy. Now you're saying that what did leader say? Did you translate that, the other ones? Very well. I was basically saying that when he gets opportunities to speak his mother tongue, those constituents will know that one of their own is here, and the necessary inspiration could be drawn. And there's a need for us to spice it, this whole process with our Ghanaian language. Enough of the brofu and all that. Yeah.
Leader, I do agree with you absolutely. What I'm saying is, if Honorable does that, I would like him to have it in English so that it can be captured in the report. That's basically.
Chairman, you are a good man. There's no problem at all.
All right. Okay.
So
please go ahead.
Go ahead and answer that in Gomwa.
Thank
You are
Mr.
not going
Chairman.
to speak Fanti, you are going to speak Gomwa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Mikrum Quine, Fiti Chirinquanta, request and penny. Quine won't go do that.
O constituency one Ankasani na Gomwa West. A corner to them, the entire constituency, a corner to them.
Goma West,
Hold on, leader. I don't want to be doing this, but your question, which is being asked in Fanti or Gomwa, for us to know the questions you are asking, for which he is providing answers for, we would like to have your question that you ask in English as well.
What is the state of your roads in that constituency, Goma West constituency?
Mr. Chairman, Gumwa Aquine, Nini Naranye.
Now, within the past 8 years, referring to the Akufo-Addo administration, were some of the roads done?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
In English, please, leader, before he answers.
Yeah, I said it in English.
You said, is it the same one? I thought you said more than that. Okay.
Okay.
So you also do it in English so that we can capture the conversation.
Mr. Chairman, within the last 8 years, a section of the Gomwa Ankamo to Gomwa Isikuma Road, just about 3 kilometers of it was tarred. This is a 15-kilometer road, but about 3 kilometers was tarred.
Are there some ongoing projects in terms of the road, ongoing road construction that the contractors are yet to complete?
Mr. Chairman, all routes that were started even in 2020 were not completed. They were all abandoned. However, in the last 2 weeks, the Gomwa Asen Township Road, the contractor has returned to site and is working on it.
Can you say that in your mother tongue, that answer?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. From 2020, acquire every 2020, acquire a bansha say ordinance a kind, a bit there, Mankwadi Road, Abrekum Road, Ankamu the Rampon Road, Asin Township Road, the Marquine in Yinara, contractors in Wufido Sand, I bang with Chawaka. Nemum, a year now to be by Saint Chemi, and a year contractor or Asin Township Road on the Wakodori and Wujuma, or Sede, who share the company, which make good order.
So this contractor who is back on your road is still yet to be paid, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Your first term as a member of parliament, what were some of the support you received from government for your constituents? Say that in your mother tongue.
Mr. Chairman, my first term in Parliament, I buy them war bar, my constituency. A year, my common fan, I buy Uchiai, the member of Parliament. Ne brown, Brabia also to the Utia, Uchiai. The name the common fan, on ban the brown and the brown. Internally, and then Mamma Sumasakaya, common fund, educational fund, a year gets fund, and a year health insurance, social intervention. And in the Bribia or Sere Oban, Mr. Kambi Mabdi Juma, Ogumawis.
Honorable nominee, if you don't say what you've just said in English, it will not be captured. That's your choice, basically.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I indicated that during my tenure, my first tenure, I received, the support I received from government was basically the Common Fund, the District Assembly Common Fund, the GETS Fund, the NHI Fund, and then the Social Intervention Fund.
Please share with us the projects you undertook with this support.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, within my 4 years tenure, every community in Goma West, I undertook some projects there. Some has to do with support for community center. Some has to do with school renovation. I also did even some chip compound that I started, some health facilities that I renovated, some health equipment I supplied, and then support to students, and then other young people, support to start business, and then for training.
Did you receive street lights from the Ministry of Energy?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Honorable Chairman, I did receive street lights.
Year on year or just once?
Mr. Chairman, I received 3 times.
And these street lights, Honorable Petu, respectfully, the member who says he received 3 times, and you are saying twice, are you the one who received it? These things must stop. You are not the one I'm posing a question to. He says he received 3 times on oath. You are sitting there saying that twice. I mean, why this? Please. He's capable of answering his questions.
Honorable Leader, your point is well taken. Please,
Honorable,
members.
If you are a friend of the committee, Chairman,
Please.
you should advise.
There's one meeting, one vetting. And it is the responsibility of the nominee to answer the questions that is being asked. And honorable members should know better and know the rules that the honorable nominee is capable of answering the questions that are put to him. So I will urge you to stay away from communicating with the nominee because the nominee is on the oath. Thank you. Leader, please continue.
So, the support in terms of street lights from the Energy Ministry is not part of the Common Fund, GET Fund, NHI support, as well as the SIF support. is not part of those you listed earlier, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Correct. Honorable nominee, you have stated as hobbies reading, traveling, and teaching. Let's stay a bit on reading. When you say reading, what and what do you read?
Mr. Chairman, I read any literature that that comes to me, I read them.
No particular interest.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Can you share with us any book you've read and lessons you've learned from that? The title of the book and the story and what you've learned out of it.
Mr. Chairman, I read Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe.
What lessons did you learn from Things Fall Apart? But before the lessons you learned, just share with us a summary of Things Fall Apart.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's one interesting thing I learned in the Things Fall Apart. The summary. Mr. Chairman, I learned about the character. The summary, I would actually put it around the character of Okonkwo.
When did you read Chinua Achebe? I just want to know when you read that. Yeah. Answer the question. But I want to know, how long ago did you read this, Chinua Achebe? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I read Chinua Achebe some 5 years ago. However, when I became a member of parliament, I have been doing so much reading. So I don't get time to do the regular reading that I used to do, because I have to read other stuffs and also have some academic work along the line too.
You must have some memory of what the I haven't taken over. I have just come in. Leader, I haven't taken over. I just want to substantiate what you just said. And I'm saying that if you read it about 5 years ago, that will determine your recollection, unless maybe you have what is it called, a photo, yeah. But answer the question so that we'll know how simple or how you struggle to recollect things. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. So that is where I said there's one section of Chinua Achebe's book which I took very much interest in, and has to do with how we see people who come around us. He talked about when you do an invitation and you bring people together to actually feed them. It doesn't mean that they cannot buy food for themselves, but it's actually for the good of it. So as a person, I believe that any time that you get people to come around you, it is not because they want something from you, but actually to show solidarity and also to portray our culture as Africans and that receptive life that we live.
You earlier referred to Okonkwo. What have you to tell us about Okonkwo?
Mr. Chairman, I just indicated that Okonkwo's love for people and the quest to always bring people around him is something that I have learned from him.
You mean Okunko's love for people and to say it again.
Mr. Chairman, I said Okonko's receptive life that is always bringing people together is to show love to them. It's something that I also have learned.
That is what Okonko, that's how Okonko is portrayed in Things Fall Apart. You mean the book written by Chinua Achebe? Would you want to have an opportunity to refreshing your memory now, or will you prefer that you stay clear of this Chinua Achebe book? Since it's been 5 years since you said you read it 5 years ago. I can move away from it if you don't immediately recollect. Do you remember anything about bravery?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I do.
And that bravery is associated with who?
It's associated with Okonko.
Now you are back home. But this love for people and all, anyway. You said 5 years ago, so it's okay. At least you remember the bravery part of Okonko. The chairman says that perhaps you refresh your memory,
Yes,
and after this vetting, you
I
come
grant you the leave to go and refresh your memory and meet leader, a week or 3 weeks later, to have a private discussion with him on Okonko. So I will urge leader to move away from the Okonko subject. Thank you, leader.
They said a man's skin must be rough. His smile must be brief. You remember that one?
I do, Mr. Chairman.
You remember that one?
Yes, sir.
And his food must be what?
I don't remember that part.
Okay. So keep that one in mind. Was Okunko very proud of his dad?
Mr. Chairman, kindly come again.
Was Okunko proud of his dad, the man who gave birth to him?
No, he wasn't.
Why?
He felt his father was weak. He felt his father didn't exhibit the bravery of a man.
Now you are back home. You see, I'm bringing you, but now you have gotten to your comfort zone. So after I wasn't being hard on you. All right? So, having read Okunko's, having read Chinua Achebe and Things Fall Apart, what have you to share with the youth regarding the lessons you learned from Things Fall Apart? Things
Leader.
fall apart, the center cannot hold, the falcon cannot hear the falconer.
Leader, I think I appeal to you on the Okonko issue. But since you are Okonko, I just want to tell you that in the same Okonko, it says wisdom is like a goat skin bag. Each man carries his own. That's my Okonko. So take a cue from that.
Chairman, this nominee doesn't need to be helped. He's capable. Just don't worry yourself much. He's my junior brother, and he knows that I won't put him in harm's way. I just want him to demonstrate his ability to withstand the pressures of public life. It is your first time, correct? Your first time in public life, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Have you done any business of your own and on your own prior to occupying this high office? Yes, no.
Yes.
Tell us about that business.
Mr. Chairman, I am actually, before coming to Parliament, I worked as a corporate executive in the downstream oil sector. Along the line, I had some personal businesses in the sector.
What were those personal businesses?
Mr. Chairman, I had some retail outlets and do petroleum transportation.
Retail, did you register those businesses? Those retail outlets business, did you register them?
Mr. Chairman.
Sorry, let me put it correct. Rightly. Did you register an entity to do a business in this country? Sole proprietorship, partnership, limited liability company. Which of these did you do your business under?
Mr. Chairman, my business I did before coming to Parliament was solely I do build and then lease out the property. So it was purely
Wait. Mr. Richard John Mensah, wait. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Proud to this your current position, are you able to share with us any business that you had initiated, done on your own, not working for somebody, your own business?
Mr. Chairman, I did business as a dealer with my company with a notice of my chief executive.
Right, so let's deal with the dealer. As a dealer, which entity did you register for the purpose of the dealership? Was it a limited liability company, a partnership company, or sole proprietorship?
Mr. Chairman, I did it as a personal business, which wasn't registered.
Meaning you didn't pay taxes?
Mr. Chairman, I paid my taxes as part of my personal taxes. All taxes were paid.
So, which year, from which year to which year are you referring to? Which period did you pay those taxes? So, you mean the profit you made on those dealership business, the retail outlets selling petroleum products, you earn some profit and pay taxes on, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
From which period to which period?
Mr. Chairman, I did up to 2020.
From when to 2020?
So, Mr. Chairman, the business is such that as a dealer, there's a margin that is given to you. As and when you make profit, it is paid. Within the period 2018 to 2020, that was when I was active in the business. But then the business had gone down.
Not a problem. Pay attention to my question. I don't want us to stay too long. So, you did that business between 2018 and 2020, correct?
Mr. Chairman, that was when I was actively involved in it.
That's fine. So, if we give you the opportunity, would you be able to furnish us with the taxes you paid on those business within that period? Not now, before your confirmation. Can we have those taxes to include in our reports?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Leader, you need a leave from me for that.
I agree. Chairman, thank you so much. Yes. So, but he's answered us that he will make that available.
Right, since he's answered, granted, after your answer.
Then you were also talking about building and selling. So explain that business to us as well.
Mr. Chairman, it's not a housing building. It's the same retail business because you have to build before you can be given the dealership.
Build what?
I'm saying that the retail, I didn't say I was selling. So now that I am a member of parliament, I cannot actively take part in the retail business. So I actually lease it out for somebody to operate.
And you mean building a retail outlet, filling station, you have not registered it? Is that what you are telling the country? That you build a retail outlet, doing dealership, filling station, and it is not a registered entity? That's what you want to tell the country?
Mr. Chairman, retail outlets can be registered in a person's name.
You have it registered in your name.
I mean, sorry, Mr. Chairman, you can actually get a permit of a retail outlet in your name.
Yes, so all the retail outlets that you built, you have them in your name, correct?
Mr. Chairman, I have one retail outlet in my name.
When did you get that permit?
I took the permit in 2016.
And you have that permit still with you?
So, Mr. Chairman, currently it is not run by me. Permit every year annually is renewed. So the current operator will actually register the permit in the name of the operator.
So, with the leave of the chairman, we'll be happy you furnish us with the very permit that you had in your name at a later date, since you may not have it here.
Very well. Honorable Omi, please answer as I have given you the leave.
So, Mr. Chairman, my old permits in my name are still, I still have them. Even though some, mostly when you do, the permit is given to you, it is kept at the station. So I have to actually call for it.
So this program you call Master of Arts, Energy Law, what does it entail?
Mr. Chairman, it actually deals with the whole energy sector, that is the downstream, the upstream, and then electricity.
Proud to you joining the NDC fraternity. Were you an MPP member?
Mr. Chairman, I have never been a member of the MPP and I've never bear a card of MPP.
You've never borne a card? You mean?
Never.
Okay. So, so you were not a card-bearing member of the NPP, proud to join NDC?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Now, one of your referees says that when you were in school, you were paying the fees for some of your colleagues who were struggling with their fees. You must be a man who embraces charity, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. When I was doing my first master's program, I used to support my colleagues.
And your constituents, with you going to the energy sector, should expect more, correct?
Mr. Chairman, my constituents know that I'm someone that if I have every opportunity, I will help.
So they should expect more, correct?
Mr. Chairman, I'll ask my constituents to be moderate because the economy, the economy that we have now. No, not. We are talking about money economy, not. I'm talking about the money pocket economy.
Explain what you mean by money economy.
When I say money economy, it's the money in your pocket. So there's not much money in my pocket, so I want them to be.
No. I'm not talking about now. Now they will believe you, but they would understand you. Now that you have not entered the energy ministry. But you are going there, you're going to be a board member here, there, deputy energy minister. You're saying that they should moderate? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Should every constituent in need expect your support to the extent that you can provide, irrespective of partisan colors?
Mr. Chairman, this is something I have done even when I was not a member of parliament. But as I always say that it is as and when I have it available, I would always make sure that, irrespective of your party affiliation, I will give any needed support.
Some constituents who were interviewed as part of the due diligence we did claim that sometimes you are not reachable. It's a general sin that all of us cannot escape. What assurances have you for them that you would have a system in place for you to be reached?
Mr. Chairman, I have noted this. However, Mr. Chairman, I have a system, even when you call and you don't get me. Before midnight, I return every call that I have missed within the day. Maybe when I call the person back and then he doesn't, his line is also not active, I may lose that opportunity. However, getting into this position, I know there will be a lot of calls besides the work I have. I'll put in place mechanisms that will make sure that I'm able to reach out to my people.
Let's deal with ECG. You earlier said that ECG needs to be privatized. Explain the form of privatization you are suggesting for ECG.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the whole involvement of the private sector in the ECG, I am not privy to it. I was only sharing a view that we may look at the billing and then the metering system and also the collection, that we can engage the private sector at least to ensure that some inefficiencies in the system, they can help us plug it.
So, you believe that there are inefficiencies at ECG, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Can you share some of the inefficiencies?
So, Mr. Chairman, as also a consumer of power, and then having been a member of parliament, there are places I've been to that people have complained that they have meters, but nobody comes for the bills. So sometimes we're there for 3 years, and then they come with a huge bill, which the people are unable to pay. I think this is also some of the inefficiencies that I've identified.
Would you agree to a suggestion to the effect that there must be prepaid meters across board? Every ECG consumer must be given a prepaid meter.
Mr. Chairman, I do agree that prepaid meters should be actually be installed, at least to help curtail some of the losses that we record.
How proactive would this be considered? Because it's a major drain on us as a country. I hope you know that.
Chairman, I just want to find out if the meters, the ECG prepaid meters, is a drain, or the absence of it is a drain to our coffers.
Well, you said earlier that there is a problem with the billing system. And sometimes it takes a year or more, somebody has not been billed. there are all manner of illegal connections. People who are even billed sometimes do not pay. But if you have a prepaid system where through technology consumption is monitored, the inefficiency you are talking about can be addressed. That is what I am trying to ask you, whether in that context you can assure us of a proactive approach in dealing with this situation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that with the prepaid meter being installed across the country is a very good step. However, it's one thing installing the prepaid. It's another thing also people even getting the opportunity when it comes to paying or even buying the paying in advance, because there are instances where people have to go and queue before they can buy credits.
No, we passed that stage long ago. No. Don't take us back. I mean, the queuing for credit, where your credits get exhausted, you finish, and you have to sleep in darkness till the next morning, unless you are not in Ghana. Don't take us back. There's nothing like queuing. Please be up to date. Bring your attention to this engagement. And don't generalize. Bring your attention to this engagement. I'm laying sufficient foundation to guide you. But don't talk about a situation where people queue. That era is way gone. We don't queue to buy prepaid credits, units, they call it, and all that. So please, Honorable, you buy from your phone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know in my house in the constituency, I buy on the phone. In my house in Accra, we go to the vendor and pay for it. That is the issue that I'm actually pointing out.
But so don't say there's queuing. There's nothing like queuing for whatever you want to describe it, but there's nothing like that. I mean, it's a matter of fact. Only yesterday, I was chairing that board. So you are going there. Don't let us create a certain impression. However, Honorable, there's something I want to share, and it's for you. This is not a question. You see, we as a political class, I believe that the way we act, the public servants, the civil servants, watch us and sometimes they laugh. We say all manner of things about ourselves, and we go and meet a system that we are unable to implement. And even where we want to implement a new, policy, there is a certain level of resistance, and it becomes political. Today, you are hearing of ECG importing items, and those items staying at the port for a long time, and in the end, customs will confiscate, sell to individuals, and they resell to ECG. I hope you've heard that story.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
But the little investigation I did, at the time I assumed the chair in July, when this thing came to attention, was that the same setup would tell the political head that, oh, this is the system already there. And when you want to disturb it, they will either use the union or use the media to frustrate you. Then when things go bad, is the same politician. I'm sharing this with you for you to be fortified well enough so that when you get there, you will be bold to lead real reforms in that sector, because only one deputy minister is going to support the sector minister. So you have a lot of responsibilities. So if you are not assertive, you spend your time there, come back, and it's the same political football. Is an advice well taken?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I tried it at Ghana Water. I rather became the victim. And it makes me sad as a politician, because we don't lend support to each other for real reform. So the time comes, election, and the structural defects, the inefficiencies become the subject matter of campaign. And when we are done, the same thing remains. A new person comes and they will be laughing at us. And 4 years will come again. And then the inefficiencies become the basis for another campaign. So I pray that this privatization that the previous administration had initiated, which some way, somehow, became political, and the previous administration had abandoned, in your time, when the same forces of darkness in the sector are frustrating you, you'll be bold to implement the privatization there. Because I support the privatization, which privatization would bring efficiency. All right? I hope you'll be bold to do that.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Support your minister, because there's a serious drain on us as a country. And if we, you and I, do not stand firm as leaders, the system will crash on our heads. Now, that said, let me ask you about the industry proper, where you are going. What do you bring on board? What do you bring on board as a deputy energy minister? What should be the expectation of your minister?
Mr. Chairman, I am going to assist my minister in every way that I can to ensure that he also succeeds on his mandate.
Give us some of the sectors under your ministry, the agencies. List some of them for us.
Mr. Chairman, we have the GMPC, we have the Ghana Gas Company, we have Tema Oil Refinery, we have Petroleum Commission. This is within the petroleum sector. We have GOIL, Ghana Oil Company. In the power sector, we have the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG. We have NEDCO. We have the Energy Commission. We have the VRA, Volta River Authority. We have the BUI. And then, I think these are the few I can mention, but there are lots. There are about 16 agencies under my ministry.
So you have 16 agencies.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And what would be your contribution in enhancing the efficiency of these institutions? Because I know, as a deputy minister, you are going to serve on the boards of quite a number of them by way of the law that governs the operations of these agencies. You would have to be on some boards. What do you bring on board?
Mr. Chairman, I cannot speak to I cannot speak to the fact that I'm going to serve on any board, but I can assure that wherever my boss, the sector minister, places me, and whatever tax he gives to me, I'll be very diligent and make sure I deliver to the best of my abilities.
So share with us the energy policy of your party. Share with us your energy policy.
Mr. Chairman, the sector, if I derive it from the president,
Wait. The energy policy as contained in your manifesto is what I'm referring to. What is the energy policy as contained in your manifesto? If you've not read it, say so, let's abandon it. If you want to refer to your manifesto, say so, because I have your manifesto with me. If you don't have yours, I will give you your manifesto so that you say so, let's be clear so that I don't waste my time on that.
Mr. Chairman, I've not praised myself with the whole policy.
Mr. Chair, that will be all for the nominee.
Thank you very much, Leader. I have number of times carrying counts. I know that Leader and the MPP party and members of parliament are a bit infatuated with the NDC manifesto. And you keep asking us to produce our manifesto. But, as a leader of the party, yes, I'm just, please, relax. And many a times, you ask us to produce our manifesto. I have said that our manifesto is not a driving license. So we don't carry it with us that you will be asking us to produce it. But if you have an issue in it, please, by all means, but to get our nominees to produce the party's manifesto, you ask them to produce Ghana's constitution, I can understand. But the party's manifesto, we don't know you have a copy. I'll grab a copy. So, please, Leader, I will appeal to you when you ask your questions on our manifesto. But, please.
Chairman, you want to be nominated?
Honorable member, you are out of order. Honorable nominee, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
I'm actually wrapping up. And I'm not asking you a question, actually. I want your view on something. When Ghana became an oil-producing nation, under His Excellency, our former president, President Atta Mills, who is no longer with us, he set up commercial producer of oil. He set up 3 funds, basically not alone, but with the government at the time. I'm sure you are aware of the ABFA, which is the annual budgets. So it's basically a fund or a sovereign fund which is invested in other jurisdictions to earn revenue on it and build it up for future generations. You are going into the energy ministry. You are a young man. So the future generation that His Excellency Professor Mills thought about then, you are one of the people that he was thinking about, and even those who come after. That one has been in operation for many years. Many opinions on it, I wouldn't say government, have had a different thoughts as to what to do with that money. It's got a sunset on it at some stage. But you want to come in, I'll give you the space to come in. But, okay, play.
This is your sermon. Then your next nominee may suffer. Let's finish it. Go.
And
Discharge him.
basically, what I basically wanted to ask you is that what is your view, your personal view as a young man and somebody going into the energy space? What Ghana should use that money for, in your own view? It's not a policy opinion, if you have any, for future generation. This is a personal view that the man.
Honorable nominee, Chairman is seeking your view on a matter which may lead you into temptation. You know, if you do a political punch, you may be discharged, but your next nominee may suffer. So the choice is yours. You are going to support your minister. And chairman wants to solicit some political views from you to score some political point. I don't have a problem, but if you answer, and I think the answer is very political, I will come up with a follow-up question that may delay you here, or it may affect the next nominee. So as for me, you are my brother. We are all Gomwa Efutu people. I'm just advising you that you can beg of chairman, easy, Pocho, Echi, now we're on sound historical.
You may or may not have a view. It's a view. So please answer the question. If you have a view or you don't have a view.
Heritage Fund, look at the law. When it was.
I'm not asking about
Mr. Chairman,
You were asking about
his view.
which view? The Heritage Fund was established 2007. Look, discharge your nominee, let him go in peace. When you are going to a slippery, you create problems for him.
Leader.
The chairman, you've had a peaceful day.
Leader.
The law was established
We'll continue to have a peaceful day.
Kufuor founded oil, and it's under Kufuor that we had the heritage. Look at the law.
Leader, are you enhancing the view question I'm asking, or you are?
Okay, you go ahead.
Please, Honorable Nominee. Please, your view.
Do you have a view or not?
Are you?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I will actually follow what my minister pursue with this.
This is a policy question. I was asking.
Mr. Chairman, I will seek the guidance from my minister.
No. Right. Honorable members, let's have one meeting here. Okay. Honorable nominee, I am going to. Honorable nominee, I am just going to. I have been given a list of people, friends and family who came to support you. And I'm going to call out their names and thank them for coming to support you. I have here on top of my list Mrs. Anita Pencil Jan Mensah, which is your spouse. Nana Kofi Kwa II, Odiko of Gomwa, Jokwa, representative of the Gomwa Egumakun Traditional Council. Nana Apaba the fourth, the Queen Mother of Gumwa Imperium, I'm sure I've got the name right, Imprumu, representative of the Omahini of the Jumaku traditional area. Nana Obu Mensah the ninth, Odikro of Gumwa Mampon, is also a representative of the Gumwa Asen Traditional Council. Dr. George Blankson, the former Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Our own Nana Sambru Butler, who is the chairman of the Central Regional Accra Caucus of the NDC. Mrs. Sati Okran, Central Regional Accra Caucus, NDC. And then Reverend Loviana Lamle Lamti, Minister of the Prince of Peace Methodist Church, Tabora. Then we have here our own Professor Richard Kofi Esielu, our Central Region Chairman. And then Honorable Theophilus Edumesa, a former DC from Goma West. I have here others as Mr. Nicholas Owusu, who is the MD of Desert Oil Ghana Limited. Alhaji Muhammad Kasim, who is the constituency chairman, and Nana Ama Ankwa II, who is the Queen Mother of Gumwa Abura, who is a representative of the Gumwa Asen Traditional Council. I would like to thank you for coming to support our brother on his vetting. Nominee, I think you have exhausted all the questions. So at this juncture, I would like to discharge you, and you will hear from the committee. You are duly discharged. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, as the nominee takes leave of us with his entourage, I will ask the clerk of this committee to usher in the next nominee. Thank you very much. Honorable members, I will call this meeting to order and ask the clerk of the committee to administer the oaths with the nominee. Thank you.
I hereby administer the oath to the nominee.
I, John Matthew Kofi Seto Bello,
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
touching the matter and issue
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable nominee, are you ready?
Almost.
That's good enough for me.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much,
Abdallah.
Chairman.
I want to give you the opportunity to say a few words about yourself in 2 or 3 minutes, please.
Thank you so much. My name is John Matthew Kofi Seto Bello. I was born in Accra, raised in Tema. I went to Christ the King International School, went to Achimota. I've always had a passion for agriculture and film. I did my first film in 1991. I got into farming in 2006, 2007. That's about the same time I also got into agriculture. I've always had a passion for agric. I've always followed my passion. I found myself in politics from 2012 onwards. 2016, I campaigned around the whole country for President Mahama and the NDC. 2020, I contested for the Iowa West Warbon seat. I nearly won. I didn't win. 2024, I tried again, but this time around, I was successful. And so, my life has been a little bit of up and down, but all in all, I'm grateful for today. And then also, I'm also grateful for the parents that I have who are not here with me today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will invite the Honorable Minority Leader for his initial remarks. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, on page 2 of your CV, you have written your educational background, and you're saying that you did GIMBA, BA in Public Administration, 2016 to 2022. Correct?
Mr. Chairman, I think that was a mistake. It was 2016 to 2020.
So, you will take the leave of chair to amend it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I haven't given you the leave yet.
Sorry.
Honorable nominee. And I grant you the leave. Leader, I think it's set up audio.
So, Honorable nominee, back to the question. Page 2 of your CV, you have the BA in Public Administration, 2016 to 2022. Is there anything you want to do on the dates?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think I would like to correct it. It was 2016 to the year 2020.
All right. What about the same GIMPA, Masters in Governance and Leadership? Are the details there correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So you have the certificates for that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And your transcripts?
Yes, please.
Please, what about the 2023 to 2024 Masters in Natural Resources Law, University of Ghana School of Law?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You have the certificate?
Yes, please.
When did you graduate?
2024.
When in 2024?
I don't remember the exact month, but I think it was around May or April. April or May.
Before I go on, I acknowledge a senior colleague, the Honorable Minister responsible for Agriculture, Food and Agric, correct? Yesterday, his bosom friend and brother was here, and I didn't see him. He was, I didn't see him. I didn't see him, but he was here. You also say that you did your WASI 2000 to 2002. Is it 2 years, or explain?
So there's a mistake there. It's actually SSC. So it was from 2000 to 2002. That's 3 years. So 2000, yes.
So it means that January to December,
Yes, please.
January to
Yes,
December.
Please. Yes, please. There was
Oh.
SSC, not WASI.
So can you take the leave of chairman?
Please leave is granted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So, you said your origin is Oti, and the hometown was Lipe Bala, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
That's where daddy comes from,
Yes,
or
Mr.
both?
That's where my father comes from.
Okay. And quite interesting. You speak English, of course, that's no doubt. You speak Fanti, that I attest to it because you speak Fanti with me. You do tree. Is your gun 50-50 or 100%?
My gun is 70-30.
Which of them? The Osu one or La or Gamashi gun?
The
or
Oponglo one.
Kanishi?
The Oponglo one.
The Ponglo gun?
Yes, please.
Okay. Then your Ewe.
My Ewe there, respectfully, I think I'm better than you, small.
Oh, Nyatepea?
Merkui.
Oh. So, you mean you are better than me? Small.
If my answer wouldn't mean you would worry me, then I have to be.
Well, it's unfortunate. Mine was 100%. But when they took me back to Winneba, the Futu, which is a Guan language, took away the Anlo. And by the time I got to St. Augustine's, that was the first time I met the language again. And it couldn't come again, unfortunately. Because I lived in Chame and started my school in Chame. I lived with my grandma. Yes, and I could speak Manlo fluent. But I'm trying. I'm trying to build my capacity on that. So help me.
Mr. Chairman, maybe we can take classes together.
Very well. So, and then your French is also 100% or
That's
on
about
pay?
On pay, 20%. Enough to buy something and sell something.
D'accord.
Merci beaucoup.
And you have said that you work as CEO Melo Foods 2015 July to present. And then KSD Ventures 2014 present CEO. And if I look at the scope of business, the KSD Ventures, you are talking about supply of building materials and production of ice for fresh fishmongers. If you come to the Mellow Foods, packaging, distribution of ginger, cabbage and snails, distribution of approximately 50,000 crates of eggs weekly, distribution of 600 kgs of fresh goat's meat and beef weekly, engaging over 7,000 smallholder farmers in 11 regions, and overseeing daily activity of 34,000 bed capacity poultry farm. So, you are a poultry farmer?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
How many people do you employ at Mellow Foods?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Directly about 10, indirectly over 100.
What about KSD Ventures?
Just 3.
This is a business you own as a sole shareholder?
Sole proprietorship.
So it's a sole proprietorship
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
business. Okay. Where do you live?
I live in East Legon, Mr. Chairman.
Your rented property or your own property?
It's
Family property.
It's a leased property
Okay, so lease for how long?
for 20 years.
I see. But you've not provided the address here. You only have your postal address.
It was an oversight, sorry.
So would you take the leave of chair to amend those records?
Leave granted, nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That all the amendments you do, when we are done, you would get it done by your secretariat and furnish them to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let me be very honest with you. My first encounter with you, I found you very humble and respectful. Your language, use, and how you carry yourself. What do you say to those out there who may have an otherwise perception about you? Because this our enterprise is driven by perception. Perhaps some utterances we've made in the public space, how we've gone about things and all, drive them into a certain direction. What have you to say to those out there who may not know, as I know, that you are humble and you are respectful? And I would want the records to reflect that this is what I know about you this day. What do you want the public to know about you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the kind words. Like they say, opinions are like noses, everybody has them.
That's not an appropriate simile. Opinions are like noses, please. Just...
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I mean...
Everyone has a different opinion of other people, and it's just human nature that before you meet somebody, you probably have a different perception about them. And I've had that quite a number of times where when people meet me, they'll ask me, they'll tell me that they didn't know this was how I was and that they had a different perception about me. Some too feel that perhaps because of some movie roles I did, I might be a little bit rude and arrogant and so on and so forth, but I'm far from that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You've not said anything yet. You've not answered my question. You were only interested in making a case. This is Mr. John Mello. Tell us about yourself.
Mr. John, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. John Mello is a humble and kind man who believes in love. He believes in peace. he believes in humanity, and he has love for everybody. Thank you, Mr.
Are you
Chairman.
a Catholic?
A staunch Catholic.
Ah. Okay. Are you? Do you have a firm belief in the rosary, the power of the rosary?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have one here. Yes, yes.
You brought your rosary.
Yes, yes, please.
Are you familiar with St. Francis of Assisi's prayer?
No, that one I didn't get there.
Pardon?
But listening to you in some of the interviews in the vetting committees, yes, you've had a lot. You always say that prayer.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. You may want to read that prayer. I mean, it inspires me a lot. That great saint.
Thank
All
you.
right. Do you belong to any of the Catholic lodges? You know, the Catholic Church has some fraternal societies. The Catholic Church also has lodges. The Knights of St. John's, the Marshal. These are lodges in the church. Do you belong to any of them?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Apart from being a master when I was young, I don't currently belong to any society in the Catholic Church.
Are you a regular
churchgoer?
No, I'm not going to use churchgoer. Are you an active member of the church? And if so, which parish do you belong?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Just be honest. You've been honest thus far. I mean, just be honest.
When I was in Tema, I attended St. Joseph's of the Catholic Church.
Before, currently, let's move because you are the last for the day.
Yes, yes, please.
And we want to finish you quickly. I mean, currently, where is your parish? You've not been to church for a long time. You know, let's close this matter so that we make progress. You know, let's close this matter and then we make progress.
Mr. Chairman, I currently attend Mary Mother of Good Counsel Church Airport.
Regular?
It depends on your definition of
No,
regular.
okay, so I will define it for you. Do you pay your tithes in the church? They have your records of tithe
My
payment?
dues, yes, please.
You regularly?
Yes, please.
So who is the parish priest there?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
No, John,
Mr.
not Gojidi.
Mr. Chairman.
John Gojidi. John,
Mr. Chairman.
John
They just
Gojidi.
changed him.
Okay, John, the one they just changed, the one who has just been transferred. Give me his name. You know, Archbishop is listening to us. He's watching, and I know many Catholic priests are watching you and I,
Yes.
including all the troublesome Catholics.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, as Member of Parliament of Ayawa West Wogon, I do attend several Catholic churches in Ayawa.
John, you know, you are an honest person.
Yes, so far.
You have your rosary with you.
Yes, please.
We have all sinned
Yes,
and fallen short of the glory of God.
that's true.
Don't do this and that. The man you are going to work with, Eric Opoku,
Yes,
he doesn't like this.
yes, please.
If it is this, it is that.
Yes,
And then just own up, let's move away from there.
yes, please.
The Mary Magda of Good Counsel
Yes, please.
that you say you attend,
Yes.
is that your parish or not?
Thank
Be
you.
honest with me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do pay my dues.
No, we dues, Catholic dues,
Yes.
dues at the
At the
place.
church, yes.
What about tithes?
Oh, I pay my tithe.
At the same place?
Yes, please.
But
But I spread it across the
Oh.
other Catholic churches.
No.
As a
Menyo, Amega, Dumega, Medeku now, please. The point is that the father who has just been transferred.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Are you now his council at large? Do you remember the name? The one you say has been transferred.
Mr. Chairman, no, please.
The new one who has come. Do you know his name?
No, please. I've forgotten.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with the marshals? The marshals, are you familiar with them? Can you say a bit about the marshal as a fraternal society in the Catholic Church?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am familiar with them, but I'm not familiar with their dealings.
Okay.
What I do know is that my father was a member of the Knights of St. John's.
Okay.
But apart from that, I don't know anything about them.
Okay, so the Knights of St. John's, you must be a member. Though you are Catholic, before you become a member, you have to be initiated. Yes, you have. Not any member of the Catholic Church can enter their assembly, their meetings. And then when you are entering, there is a knock to identify you as a member who has gone through the initiation process. You know that.
Yes, please.
And then there is a handshake, a grip, to identify you as one.
Yes, please.
All right. And that is not unchristian, correct?
Correct, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes. So it's a fraternal society within the church.
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Let me ask you about your referees. You've written 2 names. How do you know the first one?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first one has been my friend for over 10 years, and he knows almost everything about me. The second one, too, the same.
When you say the first one has been a friend, specifically what do you mean?
Mr. Chairman, a very good friend.
So you think that a friend with whom you share the same esprit de corps is okay to be your referee? I mean, in your own view.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I hear you. What about Samuel Dafoe?
Same, Mr. Chairman.
Who is he to you?
He's also a very good friend who I've known for over 10 years.
Okay. What does he do?
He's into oil and gas, Mr. Chairman.
Did you at any point attend KNUST?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
What course did you read?
I studied civil engineering, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so why did you divert from civil engineering to public administration? Because in your educational background, you didn't list it at all. But in your leadership, you said KNUST, civil engineering students, assistants. You said organizing secretary, civil engineering students, 205 to 206. Then you also said Queen's Hall Planning Committee, 204 to 205. So I just wanted to understand why you were saying KNUST leadership, yet it doesn't have any space in your educational background.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've had the passion for acting and farming for a very long time. And so in my 4th year of KNUST of civil engineering, I had one more paper to write, which I didn't go back to write that paper, and I followed my passion of farming and acting. Hence, that's why I didn't write it in my CV.
Okay, hold on. So, where did you leave school in your final year?
I left after my final year.
Oh, so you did the 4-year civil engineering?
Yes, please.
But you had a paper to write,
Yes, please.
which you did not write?
Yes, please.
Oh, I see. Then you left to follow your passion
Yes, please.
for acting.
Yes, please.
Okay, then yours is better than mine.
Please, I don't know about yours, sir.
Also, I'm ready to share.
Yes, please.
Because I did become level 300, I abandoned UCC, and I went to do law. Because I didn't like accounting, and I was struggling. So I left, and I went to follow my passion of doing law. So I don't have it in my CV too.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So that's what you did.
Yes, please.
But it's not too late to go and do that one paper to have your degree in civil engineering.
Right now, I have 3 other degrees, so I'm okay.
I see.
Yes, please.
It may help. You may try.
Thank you.
It's just a paper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now, you have also indicated that your second business, you supply building materials and produce ice for fresh fishmongers. So the ice, have you done a factory to produce the ice?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, please.
Where is that located, please?
Mr. Chairman, it's in East Legon.
Okay. Is it at where you live?
Next door.
Next door.
Yes, please.
I see. And you've been paying your taxes for KSD Ventures.
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
So with the leave of the chair, you'll be able to furnish us with taxes paid from 2014 to date, correct?
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
You can also furnish us with your taxes paid for Mellow Foods from 2015 to date, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Now, you have stated your name as John Matthew Kofi Seto Dumelo. Is that what you have on your certificate?
Mr. Chairman, on my certificate, I have John Kofi Seto Dumelo.
No Matthew.
On my certificate, no.
On your date of birth, do you have John Matthew Kofi Seto Dumelo?
No, Mr. Chairman.
On your passport, do you have John Matthew Kofi Seto Dumelo?
No, Mr. Chairman.
On your Ghana card, do you have John Matthew Kofi Seto Dumelo?
No, Mr. Chairman.
What name did you register with the Electoral Commission?
John Kofi Seto Dumelo.
So, in the Gazette and the subsequent communication to Parliament, the name there is what?
John Kofi Seto Dumelo.
Now, the letter communicating your nomination to Parliament, have you had the opportunity to see it?
I have, but I didn't pay attention to the name.
Okay. Does it have Matthew?
I may not recall, Mr. Chairman.
It doesn't. Would you want to take the leave of chair to amend the records? Because you are now going into public office and you don't want unnecessary controversy. This is Ghana. People can be petty. They can get at you on anything. You are now being ushered into this new life where anything goes. So, would you want to change it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable nominee, I grant you the leave to do so, to put your official name in the right order and revert it back to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable nominee, I've been an entrepreneur for the better part of my life. I've had some good experiences. I'm concerned about something and I want to ask you. You started a nice business, sole proprietor, young man, 1984. You are not yet 40, are you?
Mr. Chairman, I'm 41.
41, very well. You are at your prime age. Okay. And you are doing well. Going into public service, how do you expect this business to survive? Sole proprietorship.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've handed all the operations to a new person who is now going to run it henceforth. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, wouldn't you prefer to drop this offer from Mr. President so you maintain your seat as an MP and build capacity in the private sector Because from sole proprietorship, you're likely to grow and make it a limited liability company. With the promises in your party's manifesto for agriculture, you can tap into it and expand your business and employ more. Don't you think that is a better option? Then later on in life, you come into public service, the executive arm of public service. What do you think?
I disagree with you, Mr. Chairman.
Basis of your disagreement?
Mr. Chairman, because it's always a privilege to be called upon by the President of the Republic of Ghana to serve in a capacity, and in this capacity is the Deputy Agric Minister designate, and I want to do that and do that diligently. Thank you.
What do you bring on board? What do you bring on board? Because you are going to meet an astute politician, very knowledgeable, and in fact, if you check Hansard, this is a man to be feared. He argues with facts, and he's not a man to dilly-dally with. To compliment him, you must definitely have something on board. What do you bring on board? The country would want to know.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Already I fear him.
But I'm happy you don't fear me.
If you asked about you, I would have answered whether I fear you or not. So
no, I don't want you to ask about me. You go ahead and answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know he's very knowledgeable. I've been listening to him. I've been studying him. And this is a great opportunity to learn under him. Him being an astute politician and a great farmer and somebody who is very knowledgeable in agriculture. I think this is the best opportunity for me to also learn under him and follow that same path. Thank you, sir.
So, now, you know your original T. How many of you have been nominated for this ministerial, deputy ministerial thing so far?
Mr. Chairman, so far, just one person, Honorable Kofi Adams.
Your own region, OT?
Yes, please.
Oh, so you are a Greater Accra MP. So your nomination fills the Greater Accra space. At the same time, it also fills the OT card. So you are from Greater Accra and OT, correct?
Well, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chairman, and also Central Region and Ashanti Region.
Oh, okay. John, it looks like you have some presidential ambition.
Oh.
Yes, because the way, because there's going to be vacancy. No, it's a privilege to serve your nation. Don't run away from it. No. Don't run away. You are an actor, a businessman, an MP. Come 2028, there will be vacancy. President Mahama is not contesting again. The field will be open. You are from OT, Greater Accra, Central, and Ashanti. Massa, you speak French. You speak Twi. Oh, you qualify. You are 41. You overqualified. In fact, you will be 44 in your prime age. Wouldn't you consider it?
Mr. Chairman, there are so many seniors ahead of me.
Okay, so not now.
Mr. Chairman, if it is the will of God,
yeah, all right.
Everyone who enters politics aspires to obviously get to the top. If it's
Very
the will
well.
of God for me to get to the top in 2058 or 2064, I will wait.
2058, you'll be. How old would you be in 2058?
Very old.
Because we are hearing Asiedu Nketia, Julius Debra, Eric Opoku. We are hearing Eric Opoku, Julius Debra, Asiedu Nketia, Asiedu Fabako, Asiedu Nketia Fabako, Julius Debra Fabako, Eric Opoku also Fabako.
Leader.
So we just want to be sure.
Leader.
So we can now say John Dumelo also Fabako.
Leader. Leader. Thank
Mr. Chairman, I also heard your name.
Don't go there. I'm not on.
Honorable nominee. Just one second, leader.
All right. So, John,
I haven't said it. I was just you are leading the nominee into a very dangerous territory. And the Fabakun, leader, with all due respect, you are completely out of order.
John, you know, my posture has always been that when I get it wrong, and I know I've gotten it wrong, it shouldn't take anything away from me to say I'm sorry. It would help me to learn. I try to watch some of my videos when we are done with the chamber work in the night. If I don't do it in the night, I do it in the morning to check what I did the previous day. Was I too harsh? Was I too hard on myself? Did I do it right? Get some friends to straighten me up. When we mount the campaign platform, the rallies, we sometimes slip. Do you agree that we sometimes slip?
Yes, Mr.
Chairman. Let me open you up generally and see how you would recall some of the excesses, if any. Do you recall anything politically you've said that with the benefit of hindsight you say, oh, I shouldn't have said it this way, particularly so against your opponent, the former member of parliament?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I remember.
What have you to tell her?
Mr. Chairman, the words I used, I apologized accordingly the day after.
Okay. But they are not on social media.
Mr. Chairman, it's on social media.
No, I mean your apology as well.
It is, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
Do you have any regrets coming into mainstream politics vis-a-vis the privacy of your business life?
Mr. Chairman, no, please. I don't have any regrets.
John, how would you want to inspire the youth of Ghana? Particularly so, you coming from the area, your constituency is largely of the academia stock, full of academics, students. What do you hope to inspire them with?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, for me, I want to inspire people to be able to follow their passion, follow what they want to do, and do it well. I'm a man of probably many talents. In the movie industry, I think I did quite well. In the business industry, I think I'm doing quite well. And politics, I'm yet to do well. And so when some people look at me, they might be inspired to follow their dreams and follow their passions and make Ghana a better place.
Have you read your party's policy on food and agriculture? Be honest about it.
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
You've read it?
Yes, please.
What's the policy on food and agriculture?
Well, our policy on food and agriculture is simple. It's to just create food sufficiency for Ghana. is to feed the industry and feed ourselves.
Through which methodology, modeling strategy? How do you hope to achieve that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With the feed ourselves, we hope to produce more. We hope to reduce post-harvest losses. We hope to feed the industry, and we hope to feed ourselves and export the rest. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now, in the process of ensuring food sufficiency, how does this fit into this your slogan, 24-hour economy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Ghana is one country that has just about one farming season. Our policy and our plan is to be able to farm all year round. Now, if you want to farm all year round, that means you would have excess food items available to be able to feed the industry. Now, once we have excess and we are feeding the industry all year round, definitely these industries have to run 24 hours. And so that's how come we'll fit into the 24-hour economy. Thank you, Mr.
So
Chairman.
what is the 24-hour economy? What is the 24-hour economy of the NDC?
Mr. Chairman,
share with us.
The 24-hour economy is one job, 3 shifts, 3 people. We don't see why Ghana should stop working at 5 o'clock. Ghana should continue working. And so if the industries are being fed 24 hours, definitely we need to employ more people. Definitely we need to move the economy forward. And so that is the 24-hour economy.
Which sectors are you going to focus on?
Sorry,
which sectors of the economy are you going to focus on?
Economy?
Yes.
Almost all sectors.
Okay. No. The nation is listening to you.
Yes,
yeah. So almost all the sectors.
Yes,
Oh, I see. Right.
Those that deem it fit to be under the 24-hour economy.
Okay, so there's going to be a modeling program to allow people to fit into it. There's going to be a certain framework, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
When is that framework to be expected? Because you were sworn into office 7 January. Today is 25th of February. When should we expect this framework?
Mr. Chairman, the budget is yet to be read, and I'm sure when it's read, the clear guidelines will be outlined there.
So, should we expect a 24-hour economy secretariat at your ministry where companies will be encouraged to register in exchange for some incentives?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If rightly so, if that becomes very necessary, yes, we would have a 24-hour economy secretariat at the Ministry of Food and Agric. Not, yes, thank you.
Leader, please. I said earlier and before, and you are pretty much a smart guy yourself, and you are aware of this, that the nominee is here as a deputy minister designate for the minister. He is not a policy maker. So let's stay away. My advice to you, as my brother, as you do advise me, is that let's stay away from policy issues. Thank you very much, leader. Please, you can continue.
Honorable Member for Awutu Senya West. The Honorable Member is on oath. He is on oath. And all convo must cease. So, explain your earlier answer. I mean, I didn't get it because there were some few distractions. No, not you. It's not possible.
Mr. Chairman, please, to which other questions?
My last question.
about how it will fit into
whether in the modeling,
yes.
the framework, there's going to be a desk or a secretariat at the Ministry of Agriculture for those companies, those entities in that sector to apply and to have some incentives as entities under your 24-hour economy.
Mr. Chairman, in consultation with my boss, if it deems fit, yes, we might set up a desk.
Wait. In consultation with your boss, you are going to do what? I want to understand, because we are recording you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You know, it's not enough to be on the rally grounds talking 24-hour economy, 24-hour, to get the youth to vote for you. We are recording, so tell us, 24-hour economy, what in consultation with your minister, tell us what you are going to do.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
in consultation with my boss, if it so pleases the ministry, we will set up a desk. If
it doesn't please the ministry, if it doesn't become necessary, we should forget about the 24-hour economy upon which you mounted your campaign and won the 2024 elections. Correct?
Correct. If it becomes necessary, sir.
So it may not be necessary to set it up.
And it can be necessary, sir.
Okay, we've taken note. Now, are you aware? And I expect you to be aware because you are dealing in poultry. Are you aware that inputs, particularly insecticides, fertilizers, do not enjoy exemption anymore, that the agro industry has to pay for duties on them?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
Now, do you know that this exemption that was denying that sector is really affecting the industry? Because you are a member of that industry.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Once again, one of our slogans was resetting Ghana. And so if it deems fit for us to be able to implement those exemptions now, we will. Because we want to grow Ghana, we want to make Ghana move forward in the right direction.
So you would want to suggest to your minister to bring back the exemptions so that those in the agro industry will enjoy that incentive to make it cheaper for the agro sector.
Mr. Chairman, in consultation with my boss, if it becomes necessary, yes.
I'm just reminding you that your party was against tax exemption. In the past. So if you are talking about going to introduce this exemption, then the industry will be happy to receive this incentive. So repeat that assurance so that the records will capture you properly.
Mr. Chairman, it wasn't an assurance. It was in consultation with my boss. If it becomes necessary, we will implement it. Thank you.
How long have you been a member of the NDC?
Mr. Chairman, since 2008.
Prior to this, were you into politics, MPP?
Mr. Chairman, please, are you asking me if I was ever a member of the MPP?
The MPP as an example. I'm saying prior to this, were you into politics, like say being an MPP member or CPP?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Just decided to take away our seat, which has been our safe seat all these years. John.
Mr. Chairman, I worked hard for it, sir.
Menyolo. Now, what should your people in Likwe expect from you as you are going into this ministry? You know, the Oti region, you're so endowed with agro potential. People, the farmers, predominantly farmers, now they've seen that one of their own is going into the ministry. What should the region expect? Oti region, the farmers are listening to you. John Dumelo, the gentle, honest, humble politician. What should they expect from you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, respectfully, I wouldn't be a Deputy Minister of Agric just for Oti region. I'll be a Deputy Minister of Agric for the whole of Ghana. And there are farmers scattered all across. And so each region and its peculiar needs and wants in terms of agriculture. And so with Oti region, of course, I'm into ginger, they do a lot of ginger. I'll make sure that I support the farmers there. In Volta region, they do a lot of rice. I'll support the farmers there. In the north, they do a lot of tomatoes and onions. I'll support them. I'm supporting all the farmers generally, not just Oti region. Thank you.
John, what is your own personal view of the unemployment situation in our country?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the unemployment problem is a national problem. And we in the NDC, about to reset the country, will make sure that we'll create a lot of employment opportunities, especially in the agri space. And so it's a national problem, and we are here to fix it. We might not be able to fix all, but we'll fix some. Thank you.
Have you become aware of discussions in the public space regarding Ghanaians who are losing their employment as a result of the directive of the Chief of Staff? Have you become aware?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Are some of these your constituents?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Have they come to appeal to you to help them get their jobs back?
Mr. Chairman, my understanding is those who lost their jobs are being reviewed. And so those who will be re-employed will be re-employed, and those who will not be re-employed will not be re-employed. And so that's the understanding that I have.
Yes, so what, if you pay attention to me, it will be helpful. However, you have given me some information that your understanding is that those who have lost their jobs, those situations are being reviewed, and those to be taken back will be taken back. Now, don't you think that the appropriate thing, therefore, would have been to keep these guys in employment and finish the review so that you take a final decision after the review, rather than terminating the appointment that they should all go home in their thousands? I say so because you state that some are your constituents and they've come to you.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think so. I think that sometimes when matters are being investigated, they ask you to step aside whilst investigations are going on. And so I think that's the rightful thing they did.
To terminate, to dismiss? Because this is not about step aside, go on some leave of a sort. They say, we've terminated your contract. I mean, that is what it is.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So you agree to that?
Yes.
That they should be sacked,
They've
as they have been sacked.
They've not been sacked.
What have they done?
They've been sacked, but they might be recalled upon review.
Okay, so let's stay there a bit. Now, these your constituents who have lost their jobs as a result of this termination, mass dismissal. What have you been telling them as they came to you? What have you been telling them?
Mr. Chairman, I've been telling them to hold on, that everything will be fine.
So far, how many, upon account, have been approaching you?
Not that many.
Go ahead, 100, 200, 150?
Maybe 15. Yes, sir.
Are you aware that the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, that had a lot of nurses posted to rural communities, all of these Ghanaians have been sent home in the name of this review, sacked, and people are suffering at the countryside, in the hinterlands. You have passion for humanity, love for humanity. Do you think that these Ghanaians must go through this? Especially those who are not getting healthcare support because the nurses have been fired. And even in the schools, that teachers have been fired. And these students in rural communities do not have access to quality teaching.
Mr. Chairman, like I stated earlier on, the appointments will be reviewed and those who will be re-employed will be re-employed.
The nation should expect that whatever review would be fair and not based on partisan consideration.
I believe so, Mr. Chairman.
Now, on your GRA tax certificate, you finished us with your tax certificate. Earlier in the vetting, you told me that you have your taxes paid up to date for both companies. But in your tax certificate, the personal income tax, PIT, we only have your assessment for 2023. And the Commissioner General tells us that 2024 is nil. Why haven't you filed your 2024 taxes?
Mr. Chairman, I think with that I'll have to confer with my tax experts to find out why that is so.
Because it's quite, I find it very curious, because without filing for 2024, you couldn't have registered. I don't want to trigger any by-election. Anyway, so can you take the leave of chair to get into this and revert to us at least before we do your report?
Granted. Nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, at least for the record, let the prayer be made by him.
Honorable nominee, please go ahead.
Please, which prayer? Please, I'd like to request that I provide the necessary documents.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
No, for the records, the necessary document in respect of your 2024 tax obligation to the state. So make that prayer.
Mr. Chairman, I pledge to provide all the necessary documents with reference to the 2024 tax obligations.
Now, I also note that on your tax clearance, your declaration for 23 is only in respect of KSD Ventures. So the application you made was in reference to KSD Ventures. So do I take it that it's a composite application for all the entities you own?
I believe so, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Now, this sector, agric, food and agriculture, how do you hope to inspire the youth to get into agriculture? Vis-a-vis incentives to be available. Those who are distracting the nominee, you are close to him, the comb will be by, see him paying attention. We don't want him to say, repeat. Please silence on that wing so that the nominee can focus. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, ever since I got into the agric space, or ever since social media became rampant, every time I do a post about agric and making agric look exciting, I've had a lot of engagements. I've had a lot of people wanting to get into the agric space. But what I tell them is that not everybody can be a farmer. And so you have the whole value chain. You have those who farm, you have those who provide transport, you have those who provide agric inputs, you have those who add value to it. And I feel and I believe that ever since I made it very public that I'm into farming, a lot more young people have gotten into agriculture, which is a good thing. Because if you look at the average age of farmers in Ghana, we are talking of over 50, 55 years, which is bad. And so we need more people to get into agriculture. We need more people to drive the agricultural bus. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you agree with me that capital is a critical challenge when it comes to agriculture? The young men and women that you want to inspire to get into agriculture, get into farming, especially the graduates, people who are done with uni and moving to office with CVs, that you want to encourage to get into agriculture. One of their worries will be capital, money, funding. How do you hope to address this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In all my engagements across the country when I'm speaking to the youth, I tell them to always start small. And they shouldn't look at the bigger picture. They should look at the bigger picture, but they should always start small. And so if your dream is to have 1,000 cattle, you can start with one or two. If your dream is to have 2,000 goats, just start with one or two. If your dream is to make or add value to whatever it is you're producing, just start with something small and grow with the business. And so yes, I do tell them that you start small because most of the time when you start big, you don't have the experience. You are likely to crash. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So from the NDC's manifesto, particularly your policy on food and agriculture, should the Ghanaian youth be assured that you are going to provide capital as an incentive to support them into agriculture?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not just capital, but we are focusing more on giving you items to start with, like the Gokon Kitty project. And so with the Gokon Kitty project, we are giving you day-old chicks, we are giving you some farm input, we are giving you cages for you to grow with the business. For other engagements like starting your own home farming, we are just going to give you some small capacity building to be able to start. And so it's not just about capital, it's about also capacity building. Thank you.
When do we expect this? When should we really expect this?
Mr. Chairman, in consultation with my boss, we will let the House know, or the whole of Ghana know when it can commence.
You know, Mr. President, mandate is up to 2028.
Correct.
The 4 years started counting from the 7th of January. So there is no time. Those hardliners will be advising that chase your political opponent. You have to tell them that it's about judge for the people, not persecution of opponent. Because persecution of opponent seems to have started, but the judge for the people, not yet. So when the country would want to know, they've heard you on talking about what your opponents have done wrong. They've heard you, but what about your own mandate? When are you going to start? At least give an indication. Your boss is here. Leave can be granted for you to consult him.
Mr. Chairman, in consultation with my boss, we'll let the House know when we start.
Very well. We'll take you. We'll take you for your word. Now, this women banking. Have you heard about it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
What is it about? What is it about?
Thank you, Mr.
I've seen one of my mates right behind you. He's giving a signal that we should end soon. But I'm telling you that you're doing well thus far. So it's a basis for the continuation. But we'll be done soon. Don't worry. I know the chiefs have sat for some time.
Thank you,
But we'll be done soon.
Thank you.
These are relevant matters for the industry, especially as you are a young man. Your campus people would want to know the promises you bring on board in the area you've been nominated for.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the area of agriculture, or in the area of business, what we realize is that women are always a formidable force. They are almost always the ones who can do business and do it well. But unfortunately, access to credit or funding is always a problem for them. And that's why the NDC agreed or has agreed to establish the women banking to be able to lend money to women at a relatively lower rate so that they can expand their business, they can create more businesses and create more jobs for the economy. Thank you.
So a bank is going to be the state as the sole shareholder.
I'm not aware of the modalities, but what I do know is that a facility or a bank will be established to lend money to women.
With branches across the nation?
Rightly so, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So we have the NEIP, we have MASLOC, we have the Ghana Enterprise Agency. Particularly Ghana Enterprise Agency is providing support to our women. In fact, they created a digitalized platform so effective that you don't even need to know somebody to access that facility. You think that all these are not enough?
No, Mr. Chairman. With the kind of economy that we have, all these are not enough. We still need more.
So the resetting of Ghana, what does it entail at all? The resetting of Ghana. This whole reset, what is it all about? Share with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, in the last 8 years, our economy hasn't been that good. And hasn't been that good. Hence, the need to reset Ghana. Hence the need to reset Ghana in all aspects of the economy.
When you say our economy hasn't been that good, I want to appreciate the context. Are you relating it to the COVID that struck the world, the external shocks vis-a-vis the Russian-Ukraine war and other external factors, or what? What exactly do you mean by the last 8 years the economy hasn't been that good? I want you to place it in proper context. I want to understand you. Are you referring to the COVID that struck the world, where for a whole year the whole world was in a form of a lockdown, where there was no production, where government had to pay public sector workers even when no revenue has been generated, where GRA could not go out to take taxes, yet every public sector employee was supposed to be paid? Please explain to me what exactly you mean by the last 8 years the economy hasn't been that good.
Mr. Chairman, if you listen to some of the comments made by the past administration, they confirmed and confessed that the economy was bad. And so I'm just reiterating what they said to say that the economy wasn't that good, hence the need for the NDC to reset Ghana in the right direction.
So in the general sense of external shocks is what you mean?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Then in what sense? I mean, I just need you to...
The external shocks affected everybody.
Right.
But Ghana wasn't able to drive out of it the way we expected them to.
No, explain. I just want to understand.
What I mean is that you mentioned COVID. You
Right.
mentioned Russia, Ukraine. But Russia, Ukraine, and COVID affected almost every country in the world. Some were able to navigate out of it, some couldn't.
Some of the countries that did a successful navigation...
Relatively,
No,
Ghana did poor.
Which are... No, it's okay. I'm happy with the conversation. I mean, this is a public discussion and for the records. Share with us those countries that, in your view, and you can limit yourself to the sub-region, those countries in the sub-region that, in your view, they navigated better out of the COVID and met expectation. And unfortunately, Ghana could not. Please.
Mr. Chairman, I'm only repeating what some of your party members said during their campaign time. That
this is the honorable nominee.
Yes, sir.
Let's not go into campaign. Now you are a public officer.
Yes.
Okay, where you rely on data and facts. If you don't want to base your argument on some facts, statistics, and data, then let's retreat and then make progress. But if we are going to say things that people say on campaign platform, even my own party members, as you're saying, then we cannot make progress as a nation.
Mr. Chairman, let's retreat and make progress, please.
Chairman, that will be all for him.
Thank you very much, Leader. I will try and end proceedings very soon. But I want to take you back, and I hope members will permit me. I want to take you back to the economy. Since Leader raised the economy issue. I want to know how you are going to help your minister in trying to resolve the food inflation situation that we have in this country and we've had for the last 8 years. If you look at the inflation numbers, and this is a fact, if you look at the components of inflation that is described as food inflation, it's been the chunk of the inflation numbers that we've had for the last 8 years. When we got to the dizzy height of inflation, and that is in 2022, when inflation was around 54%, the biggest component of that inflation was food inflation. Today, as inflation is coming down, and it's not down enough, again, the biggest chunk of that inflation is food inflation. What that clearly tells you, and economists or whoever, statisticians or whoever you engage will tell you, is that we are not providing sufficient food for ourselves. Here, I'm segregating the inflation, the food inflation, to domestic food and food that comes from outside. And they are both affected by inflation. but a chunk of that inflation, that is food inflation, is also a domestic food inflation, which clearly tells you that as a country, we have food insecurity. We are not, that is for the last 8 years. The government has just come in. So they will have nothing to do with food insecurity at this stage. So for the last 8 years, and this is, you may address yourself as the budget is coming very soon. With the budget for the last 8 years, which we have here in Parliament, and you will notice that food inflation has persistently been high for the last 8 years. I will add this so I don't make it two separate questions. Now, you move away from inflation, which is to do with the economy, into growth, which is also to do with the economy. You will also realize that the growth of Ghana's economy, if you break it down, the food inflation has been declining for the last 8 years. Even now, that growth is going up. When you look at the curve, the food component of the growth about 2 hours to make progress. I'm using 10 minutes to make my progress. So I just want to find out from you, since we have this serious challenge with inflation in terms of food inflation and with growth in terms of food insecurity, can you assure us that you will support your minister, who I know is very passionate with food inflation, to help us reduce the inflation component that is to do with food, and I mean domestic food, food grown in Ghana, not imported food. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would support my minister to do that. Thank you.
Sorry, I was trying to engage my leader here in a minor negotiation. And nominee, you have given me the assurance. You have, please, my leader interrupted me. So can you give your answer again, if you don't mind?
Yes, please. I've given the assurance together with my boss, the substantive minister.
I don't know whether to call this an ambush or not, but no. I will reluctantly yield. Is Dr. Isaac Yao Opoku here? And Honorable Henry Osei-Akoto is also here. Honorable Frimpong is also here. I just want to make sure. Please, we've been here for quite a while. I just want to make sure we wrap this up. I have granted, what the leader has said. I just wanted to make sure the members that we are talking about are actually here in the room. Okay, I will start with Dr. Isaac Yao Opoku. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, how many questions am I entitled to? 3. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Nominee, Congratulations.
Thank you.
My first question, I hope you are familiar with cocoa. My first question, there are disturbing reports that some farmers are giving their cocoa farms out to illegal miners, what we call the galamsey. Apart from the promise that the minister made, that cocoa farmers will be paid 70% of the world market price. Apart from that, what other measures will you put in place to ensure that farmers do not offer their cocoa farms to galamseyers?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that the answer that my boss gave was one of the best answers to solve, or one of the best solutions to solve this problem. Giving the cocoa farmers the right price would deter them from selling their cocoa farms. The second one is also to restructure or structure the whole mining industry well, so that wherever they mine, they will not be able to affect these cocoa farms. But I think that the main one is about pricing, and that's what my boss suggested, and that's what the NDC will do. Thank you.
Follow-up question. So when should farmers expect the 70% payment?
Mr. Chairman, normally the new, with the commencement of the new farming season, which is in October, that's when they review the prices. But I'm in no position to commit myself when it comes to the commencement of the new prices.
The previous government reviewed the producer price in between. After the opening of the cocoa season, the price was reviewed in between. So are you telling cocoa farmers that the new price will not be announced until the new season?
Mr. Chairman, in consultation with my boss, we'll be able to give the right answer at the appropriate time.
All right, Chairman, still on cocoa. There are a lot of discussions.
Now your second question.
Yeah, my second question, Chairman.
All right, thank you.
There are a lot of discussions about the involvement of the private sector in the external marketing of cocoa. What is your position on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we have to be very innovative when it comes to the cocoa sector. And if that would improve our market share, if that will improve our export, if that will improve our whole cocoa industry, then that will be a very good suggestion. But like I always say, I would have to consult my boss, and we'll see the right solution for this problem. Thank you.
Chairman, my last question. I've gone through your manifesto, and it appears the manifesto is elaborate on crops, production of crops, and also to some extent on poultry production. But when it comes to ruminants, it's very scanty. Does it mean that you are going to neglect the production of ruminants? Because poultry, protein intake in Ghana is very low. And the poultry industry has also suffered. So if the concentration is only on poultry, how sure are you that the intake of protein in Ghana, can increase? Because if you look at what the FAO recommends, we are far below. But your manifesto doesn't address the production of meat adequately. What assurance can you give to Ghanaians when it comes to animal production?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the things we are going to do is to equip our breeding centers, our livestock breeding centers. In the past, they haven't really been equipped, and what we are going to do is to really equip them. And an example is bringing in new breeding the livestock and letting it out into the particular district. And so we'll try as much as possible to decentralize the breeding centers so that more people can have access to the new breeds that are available for us to have multiple production going on.
I think I'm going to move on to Honorable Osei Kutu. He's done, leader. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and also giving me the opportunity. Respectively, my name is Seth Henry. Seth Osei Akutu, respectively. That's my name. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable nominee, congratulations.
Thank you.
You have just indicated us that along the line, your passion has driven you into certain areas, including agriculture. Now, I consider you as a practitioner in the agriculture sector. So far, can you tell us or share with us the three most difficult challenges you have faced as a practitioner in agriculture? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first challenge is access to credit. Access to credit for me to be able to expand. The second challenge is our land tenure system. Sometimes you go to certain places, you negotiate for the land, they give you the go-ahead. After a year or two, when they realize that everything is going on, they'll tell you that they want their land back. And this problem is not just peculiar to me, but peculiar to other farmers. The third one is also lack of machinery. The rainy season is just about to start. What happens is that sometimes before you book a tractor, it can take you months before the tractor is able to come to your field to plow. And before that, the rainy season is over. And so sometimes these are the challenges that I face and other farmers face. And so in my whole life of being a farmer, these are some of the challenges I face. But the most important one is access to credit. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, follow up. The credit. When the minority leader was asking you some questions, he did mention about women's banking. Do you think to avert such calamity in Ghana? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Recently, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture launched the Irrigation for Wealth Creation, and that is to irrigate over 10,000 hectares of land. Now, what that means is that once we're able to irrigate over 10,000 hectares of land, there's going to be more food. There's going to be food all year round. And so, yes, even though the World Bank has said that there might be some food shortages in the next coming years, we hope and pray that in the next coming years also we'll increase the acreage from 10,000 to possibly to 25 or 30,000 to be able to farm all year round and to affect such a problem, to avert such a problem. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, follow up. You made a mention about irrigation.
Hold on. You said a follow-up?
Yes.
I thought the last one was your follow-up.
A follow-up.
Okay, so this is your follow-up for the second
for
question.
the second question.
Okay, please go ahead.
You made mention about irrigation. As a practitioner, have you done some calculations to know how much to put land under irrigation, even for 1 hectare or 2 hectares? So how do you bring 10,000 hectares under irrigation in the short term? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, when it comes to irrigation, there are so many factors that come into play. The type of the land, the type of the water, and the type of the soil. But most especially the type of land. And so yes, there's been some form of calculation that has gone on. But the main aim or our primary concern right now is to be able to get water onto the land for us to be able to feed our plants. And that is the main aim. It might cost us, but at the long run, if you just pose that to hunger, I think it's definitely worth it.
Thank you, Honorable Nominee. My last question. As a country, there's influx of food imported into the country. How will you support the Honorable Minister to be able to bring incidents of food importation into our economy? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I may give an example like tomatoes, we do import a lot of tomatoes from our neighboring countries. And so what we realize is that normally during the dry season, that is when we import more tomatoes than usual. And so with the implementation of this irrigation scheme, we'll be able to farm all year round and reduce the importation. That's one. The second one is when you look at the Nkukong Kitikiti project, we are trying as much as possible to make Ghanaians eat what we grow in Ghana and make it affordable. And hopefully that will decrease the food import bill. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair, I'm done. Thank you very much. And then I wish Honorable Nominee the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will now move to Honorable Frimpong. Yeah, Honorable, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. John, congratulations on your nomination. And I will ask you just a few questions. John, you are going to a ministry where a lot of work has been documented. What do you know about the PFJ1 document and PFJ2 documents?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do know about the PFJ1 and the PFJ2. What I can say is that I haven't read much into it, but what I can also say is that there will be some form of review to continue those that we have to continue and discontinue, or even modify some of the things that we have to, because this is the agricultural space. Irrespective of how we coin it or name it, people have to eat, and we at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture will make that there's food on the table. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I ask this question because basically the name of the ministry is Food and Agriculture. It is very instructive to note that the food component is the key. So if you have these documents, that painstaking research has gone into the development of these projects. You're going there. When you get the note from Parliament to go there to support your minister, I hope you are going to read. You say you just glance through them. What have you noticed in them that you think could be positive to support your minister?
Honorable. The nominee is a deputy minister designate to the substantive minister. He is not here to answer policy questions, so please don't ask him one. And, Mr. Nominee, you are also not to answer policy questions, because that's not what you are here for. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this benevolent dictatorship, but I don't think I will take it, Mr. Chairman. No, Mr. Chairman.
I am far from a dictator.
No.
But I'm just guiding you. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Mr. Chairman, but if you say I should not ask anything,
I said any question that is a policy question. It's not what we are here for.
Mr. Chairman,
Therefore, I'm guiding you. Please go ahead with your question. You are a special request that I have granted. Please go ahead. It's a special request I've granted.
Mr. Chairman, respectfully, yes, I take you. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, I want to find out from John. I know, John, you are going to sit in an office I just left, and there's so much in that ministry. You are aware of, you just mentioned one of the answers about food security and all that. Do you have an idea about the crops that Ghana is self-sufficient and those that Ghana is not self-sufficient?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With self-sufficiency, I'll mention maize, I'll mention yam, I'll mention plantain. These are just a few items that we are self-sufficient in. The self-insufficient, I would mention rice.
It's becoming quite noisy. We've been here for a while. We have got our guests here who have been sitting here also for a very long time. We want to wrap this up as quickly as possible. So please, honorable members, let's allow honorable member to ask his questions and allow the nominee to answer. Do not engage the nominee. He is under oath. Please. Honorable member, continue.
For the items that we don't produce that much, I'll mention maize and I'll mention rice. Thank you.
I just want to correct something you just said. Because he mentioned maize as one of those
Go ahead.
But you just also mentioned you mentioned maize as one of the crops that you are not self-sufficient in. That's contradictory. So you better correct yourself. Okay, so John, you know this phenomenon of climate change affecting agriculture seriously.
Your second question, I presume.
Yeah, this is the second.
Thank you.
And then just supposing down food crop production. What are some of the recommendations you give to the minister when giving the note for us to circumvent the drudgery of climate change in food production?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When it comes to climate change, yes, it has an effect on agriculture. Quite recently, in recent times, you have excessive flooding, you have excessive drought, and so on and so forth. And this obviously has affected our food production. And so with the excessive drought, some of the solutions will be the irrigation scheme that we talked about. With the excessive floods, what we can do is to plant more trees to be able to be a shield when it comes to irrigation. And so these are some of the few things that we can do, and I'll suggest to my minister about how to tackle climate change. The last one will also be to grow food that are resistant, or have seeds that are resistant to some of these droughts, or some of these stuff. Climate situation. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, my last question. John, this is a general question. You are a civil engineer, right? You are a civil engineer.
No, please.
Come again?
No. Yeah.
All right. I was going to ask you if you know about the irrigation schemes that we have in this country. Do you have an idea how many irrigation schemes you have in this country?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we do have approximately 223 irrigation schemes in this country, out of which 189 are functional in this country. The largest one is the Pond irrigation scheme, which covers over 3,000 hectares. The second largest is the Tono one, which covers about 2,400 hectares of land.
Chairman. I'm done. John, congrats again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Honorable member. This before you go on, leader. This is a special dispensation. we have honestly concluded the meeting with the last names given to me by the honorable minority leader. I am inviting you to come in because Honorable Patricia says that she's yielded her question twice actually. One in the leader. So please go ahead.
Chairman, thank you, but it must not be on our record that it is a favor being done me. Per our standing orders, I am properly in place as a leader of this house to participate and ask questions. It's by right. And then
now when the meeting is actually closed, I've given you a special dispensation. Please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. or Honorable Dumelo, I congratulate you. Chairman, he is my classmate. Study masters together at Jimpa, governance and leadership. So when it comes to his ability, I don't doubt because we have studied together. Except that in 2019 and prior to the 2024 election, have you ever described your opponent as a bloody widow?
Honorable member, this question was asked by the minority leader and is being answered. You were not here. Well, you haven't got to the angle yet because so far you have repeated and you are expecting an answer from him. That I will not take as an angle unless you add the angle to what you have said so far.
Okay, Chairman, even though that question was asked, and like I said, I wanted to lay the foundation that having known him and then being with him, I don't know he will be somebody who will say something against women. I wanted to establish the fact that because when that alleged statement was made, there was an outcry from women in society. And I wanted to lay that foundation, the person that I know, to be able to say whether he's a woman, he's a person who is actually anti-women and anti the progress of women. That's the background I wanted to lay. Are you anti-progress of women in politics?
Please, honorable member, you have asked a question. Can you allow the nominee to answer and address the chairman, please?
Mr. Chairman, please no.
Please go ahead and answer, honorable nominee.
Mr. Chairman, please no.
So now I'll bring you back to when we were studying together. Chairman, it's okay because the way Honorable Baba, congratulations, is saying, I don't want to go much. She wants me to say bye-bye and congratulations, but I wouldn't say that, except to say that or to add that if you go to the ministry, try to assist your minister. The ministry is a very, it's big, it's huge, and you should not try to jump the gun. And also note that when you go to the ministry, you are not in your movie industry as you are. Try to be as serious as you can, so that you can be able to assist your minister to succeed. I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I congratulate the nominee.
Thank you very much, honorable members, that we have exhausted all the questions that we have this evening. I will proceed to acknowledge the guest lists that I'm holding. And these are people who came, or friends and family who are here to support the nominee. Godfrey Ashizani, spokesperson for La Baoshi, or Baolish, forgive me. I know. Baolishi, Traditional Council. And then Mrs. Gifty Demelo, the wife of the nominee. Mrs. Caroline Edu Asumeni, Benjamin Abonyeche, Roots of Fabia Buzia, Head of Strategic Communication, Ministry of Finance, Raphael Lutroy, Mr. John Terry Malaza, Miss Sana Boatin, Abobi Aiti, also West Constituency Chairman, Mr. Kwame Nkrumah Botiu, CPP General Secretary, Dr. Felix Kamasa, President of the Ghana Producers of Vegetables and Exporters. And the last and not the least is Mr. James Gardner. I would like to thank our guests, or the guests of the nominee, for coming to support the nominee. I would like to bring the curtains to a close and say to the nominee that you are discharged. Thank you very much. And just before you go, please. I have a message, which is a message that was agreed between myself and the minority leader, that at the end of proceedings of yesterday and today, we have agreed by consensus of the nominees we have vetted. Thank you very much.